Hello, this is Eleanor Beaton, and welcome to the 2% Scaling Strategies for women entrepreneurs who are on a mission to scale and succeed to seven figures and beyond. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. Of course, my name is Eleanor Beaton. I help women entrepreneurs nail their message, clarify their niche and market position so they can think, strategize, and get paid like a seven-figure CEO. And today on the 2%, we are continuing our series of conversations with incredible women entrepreneurs as we explore the realities of running multiple 6- and 7-figure businesses. We take you behind the scenes of what is working now in their businesses and what is not working. And we share inspiring stories from extraordinary women leaders, such as the woman who is here with me today, Hilda Gan. Hilda is the founder of People Bright Consulting, which is an HR recruiting and leadership development training company based in Toronto. I've had the privilege of having Hilda as a client for a couple of years now. This is a powerhouse woman. She is the founder and creator of the REVUP Program. REVUP is a premier manager training program. And it's not like any other manager training program out there. And here's why. Hilda created this methodology that is based on her experiences founding and running with her husband, Ty, a company called iTRANS. So iTRANS was an engineering company with, at its peak, 125 employees in the country, 7 locations. It was 2 times named in the top 10 places to work in Canada. She has taken what she learned building an 8-figure business and is really translating that into manager training programs that corporations and small businesses can use to help them develop a powerful new generation of mid-level managers. Hilda is an amazing human being. I suggest strongly that you connect with her here on LinkedIn. Welcome to the show, Hilda.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to spend some time with my favorite coach.
So I'm so delighted, to have you here. And one of the things, that comes up every time you weigh in on one of our group calls or during one of our retreats is just the experience that you bring, having built successful companies, having been inside, both sort of as an executive inside, emerging and fast-growing companies, building your own fast-growing company, creating your own consultancy, just such a huge breadth of experience. And question for you, you have decided to devote or to, for now, really focus on working with managers and mid-level managers. And of course, you could work with anybody, with founders, with senior executives. You've chosen for now to focus RevUp around managers. Why are mid-level managers so important to business?
They're at the front line of influencing and impacting on an organization. They're the ones that see other managers, if they're in that real middle to almost senior level, and the front line. They are the ones that have the ability to influence and impact on the organization and influence the employees, the staff. So to me, it is meaningful for me to influence them so that they can make people's lives easier, that they can engage the company, and then they can build the company. So that's almost like the key. And yet statistics show they get the least amount of training, because if the budget is only so much, that gets peeled off. Oh, well, we'll do the middle managers next year. We'll do the middle managers next year. So that's why they are pivotal and key to success. And if I can influence them, I help the foundation and I build the business.
And that's something that you've always talked about, the foundation, and I think
everybody knows
that, right?
Foundation.
Exactly. But everybody knows it, but we don't always do it. So question, if you can take me back to your experience, and I want to start because so much of your experience creating, this huge engineering company, highly regarded as, one of the best places to work, that has really informed People Bright Consulting and the RevUp Manager Training Program. But if you take us back there, because you and I have talked about this before, and there's a lot of entrepreneurs who are watching this. And so entrepreneurs, sometimes we're impatient. We want things done yesterday. We are like, we're not, we're very resource conscious. So I want you to take us back, to building your company, to building that company, iTRANS. And I mean, you guys built the company and exited. So it was kind of an entrepreneur's dream, right? That you were able to create. Take us back to when you realized, you and Ty, that, wow, we need to make sure that we're training our managers effectively. Like, what brought you to that decision?
I can almost take you back a little bit further. It's all about foundation. You know, building that success is a foundation. And I won't talk about the mission, vision, and values, but managers, entrepreneurs need to have that and build on that. That's that guide, that direction. So when we built it with the understanding that we wanted it to be different. We wanted our staff to feel challenged and have meaningful work. We wanted managers, and there were only a couple of us, but as we continue to grow that, to really connect with their staff. And we wanted the culture to be one where people enjoyed coming to work. So when you're scaling, what do you have? One manager, two managers? By the time we got to about 25, we probably had 7 or 8 managers, and we started nurturing them and guiding them. At 25 employees, we had managers and employees. We wanted to continue to build that strong, cultural, great place to work. And so that meant supporting everybody, employers, managers, and give them the tools. I started a lunch and learn program, educating all of our staff in the soft-sided and the technical. So every other week, one soft-sided, then a technical, and repeat. The engineers would say, why do I have to tend to something on team dynamics or networking? 2 years later, they said, Hilda, thank you. I understand why you made us do it. You bought us free lunch. So we came and they learned, right? Because people don't have the people skills. So we were grooming people, even as staff, to become managers. And that was really important. So as the years went by, we started having our own manager training series and iTRANS University. So we did a lot of exciting things that you just grow because you know. And I think it starts with having a vision, what you want to do. And when you get to that point, then you introduce it. I'm an educator early on in my career, and I knew I wanted to create an education program, a mentoring program. But you don't do that at 10 people. If everybody gets uncomfortable sitting around the room looking at each other. At 25, you're lucky if you get 10 people show up. And, you know, this is a time, right? So just decide when it is. But you have that dream of building it. And it's all about scaling, you know, how people scale. And you know what you need to do. So build for tomorrow by evolution.
Okay, there's so much to unpack in what you've just said, and there's just so much juice and great stuff here. So if we think about it, and you know, what I find so extraordinary about you, Hilda, is the discipline that you have to continuously come back to this idea that nurturing your people, you know, and investing in your people, that is the key to scaling, you know, and so you're bringing it back to that. So if we think about what Hilda's covered here, so first she's talking about, look, mission, vision, and values. Make sure that those are really clear, because to your point, you can't build back from those if you don't know what they are. And so your mission, it sounds like your vision and mission were that you were going to scale the company with the power of an amazing team. So that is what allowed you to like apply the level of focus that you would have needed to build in these training programs. Because think about it, guys, all of you founders out here, I want you to think about what would be required to create these lunch and learns, to create the iTRANS University. As a founder, when you have so much on your plate already, that's discipline and commitment to that overarching vision, you know, and it resulted in scale for you, right?
Oh, yeah. My husband's 5-year plan, he's really good. His 5-year plan was that in 5 years' time, I'm going to have 10 employees and make $1 million.
Yep.
And he did that in less than 10 months. Like And when we had our 5-year anniversary, the people that sat around the table were 75 people by then. He said, there's going to have to be a hell of a lot of us being, you know, let go in order for Tyrone to make his dream come true. We just had a laugh, really. We really had a good laugh.
That is awesome. That is awesome. All right. So tell me about, as you think through your RevUp program, like so you took the key, these key things that you learned, creating the manager training programs and the leadership development programs and the culture that was able to produce that level of scale, 1 million in 10 months, 75 employees at the 5-year mark. Like you think about that level of growth, right? So you took that knowledge and you have translated it, through People Bright Consulting. That's the consulting work that you're doing with fast growing companies, the recruiting work, but also, and I remember you saying to me, Eleanor, you need to have hunters and farmers. And so this was one of where the coach is getting coached by her, which happens a lot with my clients because they're brilliant. So Hilda's like, Eleanor, you need hunters and farmers. Like they're two different types of people. And I always found that so powerful, when it comes to team building. But I digress. So you take this knowledge and you put it into your manager training program. When you think about these mid-level managers, and I'm thinking especially about the entrepreneurs who are out there, who are starting to build up their management teams, their mid-level managers to help them grow. What's the number one skill? And I know that's kind of like, who's your favorite child? It's a little bit, but what's the number one skill that you think entrepreneurs need to be focused on in terms of training and working with their managers?
Okay. So just a little aside, entrepreneurs are managers. You are managing your whole company and all the people. Yeah. So 3 things that managers need. They need the technical skills, technical savvy. They don't have to be the experts, but they need the knowledge of project management, that time management, organizational management. And the third, which is the key, is the people skills. And so oftentimes people evolve, they get promoted because they got number 1 and 2 fine. They got in spades. That's why you like them, because they can deliver on the project and they have the skills to deliver on that project. But what they don't often have is the people skills. And we almost think that people will learn by trial and error and osmosis. And this is the worst. This is a recipe for disaster. In one of my training programs, I had somebody who attended and he says, "Hi, my name's George, and I have been a manager for 20 years. And I'm almost embarrassed to say this is the first time I've attended something to deal with my people management skills." And Paul, his name was Paul, actually. So Paul was really, I tried to change the name. Right?
I know.
Darn.
Yeah, there's 5 million Pauls out there.
Okay, so 4,900 person Paul decided that he wanted to do this. But I knew him because he was a client of mine and I was doing performance evaluation. And he was one of the best managers there. He was a people manager. Yeah. So, but oftentimes you get people who just do trial and error and figure it out and make mistakes and emulate somebody that they think is good, but that's not who they are. That's not who that person is. Not that person that they think they should emulate. That person is a mixture of many things. And what I like to do is think of people as unique. And that your style will be unique. And when you find that style, then you're going to be a much more powerful manager when you're doing it in your element, as opposed to trying to grab pieces from here and there and create a smorgasbord that may not be you. That may not be who you are.
You've hit on, again, so many excellent things in there, but this idea that, honestly, I was talking to a friend of mine recently, and this was so funny. She was talking about doing a hard eye roll that she did a hard eye roll that was so strenuous. She actually strained her eye, the muscles in her eye. But it was over this idea that entrepreneur, I like to lead, not manage. I'm a great leader, not a great manager. And I always find that really interesting because, to your point, we do have our own management styles, and sometimes there's this sort of view of what a great manager is like. And it can be like this cookie cutter thing, but the way that you manage, Hilda, is going to be so different from the way that I manage. But it's really about, of course, there's going to be fundamentals, right? But understanding who are you, what's your leadership voice, how do you manage, but understanding that it's important too. Understanding how to manage and building those skills are super, super important. Now, you said the 3 things: the technical skill, project management, and people skills. You said something really interesting. As entrepreneurs, we're often promoting on the first 2, technical skills and project management skills. That's why they can get things done. That's why we like them. But the people management skills aren't necessarily there. So this is fascinating, this idea that because intellectually we know that we promote people because they're good at their job, they can get stuff done. What happens when you promote people who don't have those people management skills?
I sometimes think people kind of hope they'll evolve into it,
Yeah.
and they don't sometimes. Some people just decide what they want to be. I think a person who's more introspective really starts to think, what kind of manager do I want to be? And there's there's the theory part, but then there's the application. And I think it is kind of situational.
Yeah.
It is using your personality. There's a whole bunch of different ways to do that. So I think it's helpful for them to get training, to understand who they really are, and how they can be better managers. I had one client who was launching a company, a startup. She's doing really, really well. She's actually one of your former students, and she and I really got along well. She had the foresight, the vision. We're talking vision again, okay? She had the vision to say, I've hired startups. I've hired these people 2 years out of teachers college, because it's an after-school program.
Yeah.
And they're my future. They're going to be my managers. She identified these stars as people for the future. And that's the good thing, is when you look at people, don't look at them for today, look at them for tomorrow as well. Yeah. And then what she did was she said, Hilda, I want you to come and do a training program. And the outcome of that was, I got these people in their 20s to understand who they truly are, and their personalities and their assets of their strengths, so that they could become the managers that made them confident. And they said, oh, this is so good, Hilda, because I want to emulate so-and-so, but that's not my style. Like this person was organized and she had everything going for her, but this person was more of an introvert, a quieter person. I wondered, how am I going to be a manager? And at the end of it, she was a confident manager, because she knew how her skills, her attention to detail, her ability to listen and synthesize were an asset as a leader. So that's what I do, is I help people understand their assets as a leader, and then speak with authenticity of that leadership style.
Yeah,
so
amazing.
Powerful thing that woman did to build her managers of the future.
Super powerful. And I know who you're talking about, and she just does a lot right.
Oh
right? Like she does a lot of things.
She's
correctly,
an amazing visionary that makes things happen. Just
totally love her. You know who you are. We love you. There's some great comments coming in. There's hello to Charmin, to Todd, Kate, Kim. Ashley is saying here, he's saying all management styles are dependent on what your workforce is able to adopt. And I think that's what you're speaking to here. Like with our training, we're sort of enhancing the capacity of our workforce, right? Like that's why we would do that training, to kind of, to his point, like increasing the capacity of our teams, right? Like that's how you scale.
And remember, the top 3 reasons people leave their companies is, number 1, they don't have meaningful and challenging work. Yep. Number 2, bad bosses and toxic work. And that's the middle manager has that ability to influence all that. They're the ones that work with their staff, and they have the power to really help them grow and develop. They know their strengths, they know their limitations, and an excellent manager will identify that and nurture that. So it is helping capacity. And when you do that, then you engage the employee to think, wow, they're helping me grow and nurture, and they give back, and that increases productivity. There is so much good to a bottom line that helps when you train your managers with the people skills. You enhance productivity, you increase retention, and you have loyalty. You build loyalty. To me, the most gratifying thing when you're able to influence people is that you watch them grow. And I have seen people who started with us as co-op students become project managers, who start with us as as project managers, who become VPs of our company. That takes nurturing, that takes identification of a person's abilities, and targeted guidance and targeted challenges to help them grow and develop. I mean, to me, you can tell my passion is just bursting now. I love helping people and I love influencing. When I became, nursing is my background, by the way. So when I became a director of nursing, I was actually a manager of nursing, and somebody said to me, Hilda, if you're thinking about moving up to a director role, I think you're ready. And I thought, I'm busy taking care of my kids. I don't have time to think about a director role.
Three kids, though. That's right.
What she said to me made me think. As a manager, I impact 30 people. As a director, I'm not going to impact those 30 people directly anymore, but I'm going to impact 5 managers to be better managers, who impact then 250 people.
Yeah.
Wow, isn't that a more powerful thing? And that's really why I started my own company too, is I wanted to have impact on other people. And so the more people that I can impact and help, the better I'm going to make people's lives. And that's what it's about for me.
Totally. Well, there's so much there'd be so much more to talk about and learn from you. We're going to need to leave it here. So a couple of things. So people, go connect with Hilda Gan here on LinkedIn. Check her out, Hilda Gan. She'll be tagged in this video. Please check her out and check out the work that she's doing. They need to get informed about the REVUP program and learn more about that. And you, in addition, I think people can have a sense of the work that you do and the training that you offer. And you also offer webinars and those kinds of things. So there's a lot of opportunities to engage with Hilda, with People Bright Consulting, and to learn from her. Where I'd like to leave it, Hilda, you have had, you're a queen of reinvention. I mean, we didn't even get to talking about that, but Hilda has been a nurse, a director of nursing. She's been, an entrepreneur previously, built a very successful company and exited that with her husband. She has headed up HR inside fast-growing companies and have launched her own consultancy. I mean, it's just so inspiring. When you think about all of that, what's been the most important lesson for you as an entrepreneur growing and scaling your company? The number one success tip or lesson that you would share with the people who are watching here today?
I think it's really about finding your passion and finding your niche, because when you feel that you have that passion and you have purpose, then things start to happen. I'm a person that wants to influence and impact and help others. So I suggest that you find your passion. Can I just mention what what REVUP stands for?
Let's do it.
So to me, my passion is to help people, which is obvious during the thing. And what I created after our successes for iTRANS, just 5 words. REVUP stands for respect, equality, valued, as in I value you, uniqueness, and potential. And that's what my passion is, to help people identify what the uniqueness is in themselves and their team, and then rev that up, create that potential, and create greater workplaces. So do find that passion and help the world.
Awesome. Hilda, it's such a privilege to work with you, to support you, and to let people know about the incredible work that you are doing out in the world, really taking this incredible knowledge base that you have and sharing it to have maximum impact and influence. Thank you so much, my friend. I so appreciate having you here.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Thanks, everybody.